You know that visceral jolt when you wake up at like 3 in the morning? The house is completely quiet and your brain just starts
Oh,
spiraling?
yeah, absolutely. You aren't in any actual physical danger,
Yeah.
but suddenly you feel entirely disconnected.
Right, the isolation is just, it's so heavy.
It is. It's a very specific kind of cognitive loop. Panic really thrives in a vacuum. When you feel untethered from a support system, your brain turns inward, and every minor anxiety amplifies.
Well, today we are looking at a roadmap for breaking that exact loop. We are doing a deep dive into a preview of this upcoming writing project called Lost, Alone, and Afraid by author Blaize On'Fyah.
Yeah, she is the creative force behind the Fyah-Verse on YouTube, right?
Exactly. It's a really vibrant digital community. And our mission today is to explore how her new book is designed to help you transform fear into real spiritual fortitude. The whole vibe is incredibly encouraging, very down to earth, and really uplifting.
Which is so needed right now.
Hmm.
What stands out to me here is how she fundamentally approaches isolation. She doesn't treat fear as just a psychological puzzle to be solved. She treats it as a spiritual deficit.
Yes, and the way she fills that deficit is fascinating. The text literally describes this entire project as a declaration of gratefulness to the Most High God.
Yeah.
She starts the journey out of fear with divine gratitude.
Right, which serves as a brilliant psychological disruptor. I mean,
Okay.
think about the mechanics of fear. It is inherently isolating because it forces your focus entirely onto yourself.
Oh, right, just your immediate survival.
Exactly, but gratitude, especially to a higher power, demands the exact opposite. It forces you to look outward and upward.
I love that.
By anchoring the project in gratitude to the divine, she creates this immediate sense of awe. And awe is proven to actually shrink the ego and contextualize our panic.
So instead of, trying to fight the feeling of being alone by just repeating, I'm not alone, you are actively engaging with a higher power. It sets a tone of love and joy right out of the gate.
It does. It immediately establishes a community feel, too. Even if you are physically sitting by yourself in an empty room, that recognition of the divine reminds you that you are deeply connected to something greater.
It changes the whole atmosphere from fear to belonging. But wait, help me out with something here.
Okay, what is it?
I want to look closely at the language she uses, because there is this tension that caught my eye. She says she wants the reader to feel nurtured by this divine connection, but her ultimate goal is for the reader to become self-sufficient.
Ah, I see what you mean.
Right, like if I am being nurtured, I am inherently relying on an outside force to care for me. So how does leaning on a divine safety net create genuine self-reliance?
It sounds totally contradictory, but it's actually the core of developmental psychology. Nurturing does not mean creating a permanent state of dependency. Think about a toddler learning to walk.
Okay, I'm with you.
If you put them in a dangerous room with sharp edges, they're going to freeze up. They won't take a step. But if you give them a deeply nurtured environment, like a safe, padded room with a loving parent cheering them on, that safety removes the paralyzing shock of fear.
Oh, wow. So the external safety net actually gives them the internal bravery to let go of the furniture.
Precisely. Blaize On'Fyah is providing a shining beacon forged from very specific tools, wisdom, strength, courage, and peace. By wrapping the reader in this nurtured divine love, she lowers their defensive wall so they can actually absorb those tools.
And those tools aren't just abstract ideas in this book either. Wisdom isn't just reading a nice quote, it is about practical application.
Right, like adopting simple daily routines to ground yourself.
Exactly, like starting the morning with that declaration of gratitude before the noise of the world even creeps in. You are building an internal reservoir of peace.
And that reservoir is what true self-sufficiency looks like. It's not about isolating yourself or pretending you don't need help. It is cultivating enough inner strength that when the 3 a.m. panic hits, you aren't crippled by it.
Because you have your own internal beacon.
Exactly. You are empowered.
That is the ultimate takeaway from Lost, Alone, and Afraid. You never actually have to feel abandoned on your personal journey. She uses divine gratitude and wisdom to transform the paralyzing grip of isolation into real, actionable empowerment.
It is just a profoundly uplifting framework for anyone trying to navigate their way back to a place of inner peace.
It really is. But it also leaves us with something deeper to chew on. We live in a modern culture that constantly praises hyper-independence, this relentless idea that needing anyone outside yourself is a weakness.
Oh, it is everywhere.
It is. So as you go about your week, ask yourself this: is this modern obsession with doing everything completely alone actually the very thing making us so afraid?